Did you say this is a new trade show?
Yeah, from what I know, there's going to be like 150 between press and buyers. There were like 150 different people. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I've coordinated events too. Like they can't guarantee that number. They're gonna give you a nice round number to sell it to you.
Right.
Okay. Hold on. I'm getting a better idea of this. So is the trade show portion of it just some of those days of the week?
Yeah. So like for my show that there'll be a runway show, but I'll actually outside of it, I'll have like a whole display set up, like my own booth space.
Okay. All right, Matt. Let me back up a little bit. I thought this was a dedicated trade show. Yeah. There's not gonna be a lot of people who are going to purchase wholesale. They're just gonna inquire. So out of all the things that you have to prepare for this, because now I understand and there's a lot going on, because you're gonna have a portion of the runway show, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, just focus on having your runway show like be dope. And then are you selling items live as well?
I had that option to do that as well.
I bet you more.
I guess I was just more concerned with if there were somebody to inquire about buying and they were serious, I just wanted to know like how I should take that on. Like if the fact that it cost me $50 to make certain goods, would 85 or 75 be a fair wholesale price?
I mean, it just
like a small.
Yeah, it just depends. It just depends. I mean, like, value is objective and subjective. It's one of the great things about fashion. So know that they're gonna keystone that price, right? So whatever price you give them, they have to double. So your suggested retail price is gonna be double. So if you sell it to them for 180, you know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna double that. So 360, right? Exactly. And the same with like, if you sell it for 80, then they're gonna sell it for 160. So that would be suggested retail. That's what's common practice. So is that final number competitive for them? Because that's what's in it for them as retail.
I guess other thing too.
Yeah, but listen, think of the budget of a retail shop. They're gonna go with whatever's their go-to sellers that's killing it for them and giving them a great wholesale versus retail price, because some people will give them more wiggle room than 100% markup, right? So in their budget, they might have anywhere from 10 to 20% room to try new brands. You know, so you're inside of that 10 to 20% where they're putting all new brands that they're looking out for and they're following on Instagram, and they're thinking, yo, this brand is coming up, should we give it a shot? In their retail that they're paying monthly for, they need everything to turn into dollars. So here's the thing. What I'm saying is, if it's a bit of a stretch for you to make that, like just offer whatever you can that's reasonable within your means right now and just keep pushing the brand. Because it's actually much easier for you to get a direct to customer sale and make all of that margin. You could even discount and say, hey, you know, the show is closing in 2 days. So these last 2 days we have 20% off. So this is the price. And then you're still gonna make a huge margin on that direct to customer transaction rather than a shop buying like, oh, we're gonna test you out, so we're gonna buy 10 of each style. It's almost like, I feel like that almost might be a pain in the ass because you're gonna have to make 100 of them. So on the other side of the coin, if you get 10 to 20 retailers and they're ready to make a buy and you get over 100, that's gonna be amazing for moving the brand forward and getting into retail. But those are like some big boy buys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't have to physically print this out because most of the people are gonna say, oh, I don't wanna hold anything. But you could have like maybe 5 to 10 printed out and say, hey, these are our wholesale terms. And so on the items that you want to sell, I would try to find a reasonable price. So I'm just saying it doesn't have to be exactly like everything I just told you. It needs to be comfortable for you, and make sure the timetable is like, you know, if you do the math and say it's gonna take like 4 months or 3 months, if it's gonna take 3 months, tell them in 4 months, that's when your shipping window begins. Yeah. Because my assumption is you're gonna get more attention of people wanting to buy in person. I think that's gonna be more successful. Now, you wanna prepare though, if a big shop comes around. I mean, if Nordstrom's just happens to be there, that's gonna be crazy, of course. But if they are, you want your terms set so you don't pull all your hair out trying to make a production run for the beginning of next year. Right. So just have your answers ready. Have your answers ready for the items. I would also have specials for the show, so you encourage people to buy in person.
People stop and buy.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think the real win is trying to clear out of inventory at the show. Now, I think for the wholesale part of it, I'm sure they're telling you there's gonna be like 100 buyers. There's not gonna be 100 buyers, I don't think. Just because there's so many different shows and they have so many things going on. Like, I've coordinated a show before and they have a lot going on. So you're gonna spread out your resources and I'm saying they're gonna do their due diligence. Is there gonna be 100 buyers? I don't know. I think you have a good chance of getting the attention of any buyers that are there because your stuff is dope. So I wouldn't spend all my resource though just worrying about that though, because I think in the reality there's not as many people that are gonna be asking for that. So I would have a couple printouts of wholesale buy information. More so, I would have it ready as a PDF to email them and exchange that email. Okay. Yeah, and make sure you give it to them on the spot or by the end of the day. Like, oh, I'll email you all of our wholesale terms. So there's some homework there, but not as much as in the beginning of this call, because now I have more context.
Okay.
Know what I mean?
Like, honestly, I was literally just gonna print out, X amount of lookbooks, and then if they wanted any more information about anything that was in it,
yeah,
they can email me.
For me, with something like this, especially if it's a somewhat of a newer show, I set my level, I define success as paying back my booth fee. If you have a fee to be there to show, is just paying it back and paying for my gas. I mean, time you can't quantify because you're putting your heart and soul into the brand, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one more thing, in terms of the beginning of the year, don't forget Chinese New Year.
Chinese New Year?
Yeah, if you have a production contact for China, February is like a no-go. The entire month of February, it's like one of their only holidays, and it's a massive holiday for them.
Okay.
Yeah, so
not in February.